During a rare backstage meeting in Las Vegas, Elvis leaned close to Muhammad Ali and whispered something no one else heard. The world would never know at the time, but Ali carried those words with him for decades. What Elvis said changed how Ali faced the ring, and how the world remembers both legends. August 16, 1973, Las Vegas Hilton. The hallway outside the private lounge buzzed like electricity. Fans pressed against velvet ropes, catching glimpses of security guards and stagehands scuttling past. The faint smell of cigar smoke mixed with cologne and polished marble. Overhead lights shimmered off brass fixtures, throwing small pools of gold on the carpet. Elvis Presley leaned casually against the wall, rhinestone-studded jumpsuit catching every reflection. His cape was draped neatly across his shoulders, glimmering under the harsh hallway lights. Despite the glitz, his posture was relaxed but alert, eyes scanning the scene like a man used to controlling the room's energy without speaking. Muhammad Ali entered the lounge with that unmistakable presence. Tall, confident, eyes sharp and calculating, movements smooth as water. Even before words were exchanged, the air between them hummed with expectation. Crew members, assistants, and a handful of reporters hushed, sensing something rare unfolding. Charlie Hodge lingered nearby, adjusting a microphone stand and pretending to check cables, though he wasn't fooling anyone. A faint click of a camera shutter echoed from a corner. Nothing else stirred. The two icons studied each other briefly, smiles slight, eyes serious. The hallway felt smaller. Time seemed to slow. Every heartbeat in that space amplified, echoing off the walls like a drum. Elvis leaned forward slightly, tilting his head. His voice, calm but firm, broke the silence. "I wanted to share something with you." Ali raised an eyebrow, half curious, half challenging. He had faced the world's best fighters, the press, the critics, but few had spoken to him with the quiet intensity of a man whose words carried music, legend, and gravity. The room smelled of anticipation, polished shoes scraping the marble. A note scrawled on the wall-mounted bulletin board caught the light. VIP lounge? Keep clear. Subtle yet pointed. Crew members and aides lingered at the edges, but no one stepped closer. Everyone instinctively understood. This was a private moment. Two men, larger than life, in a room charged with unspoken respect and the weight of fame. Elvis gestured to a small love seat against the wall. "Sit," he said. "I want you to hear this." Ali complied, though a grin tugged at the corner of his mouth. A grin that hinted at curiosity and mischief, at challenge and expectation. The lights of the hallway seemed warmer here, softer. The faint hum of the casino below rose, distant, almost unreal. It was like a stage with no audience, a place outside time, where two legends could speak freely. Charlie Hodge tapped his notebook quietly. He had seen Elvis meet countless people, but the tension here was unique. Something was about to be said, something Ali would carry forever. A hush settled over the room. Even the faint whir of the ventilation seemed muted. Elvis leaned in, eyes locked on Ali's. "Here's what I think," he murmured. "Listen carefully." And in that moment history paused. Muhammad Ali leaned back slightly in the love seat, eyes narrowing playfully. "So, you really think you know what it takes to handle the pressure?" he asked. His tone was teasing, but there was steel beneath it. He had faced the world's toughest opponents, but Elvis's presence was different, unpredictable, calm, and somehow heavier than any challenge in the ring. Elvis didn't immediately answer. He let the words hang, the hallway air thick with curiosity. The few aides lingering nearby shifted on their feet. Even Charlie Hodge, scribbling in his notebook, felt the unusual gravity. You could see the tension in the smallest movements. Ali's jaw tightening, Elvis's fingers brushing the edge of the love seat. Ali leaned forward, elbows on knees. "I mean it. Thousands of eyes, every night. People scream, throw things. Fame doesn't make it easier. Do you really get that?" Elvis's eyes flicked briefly to the security guard at the door, then back to Ali. "I do," he said softly. "But it's not the eyes that matter. It's what you do with them." His voice carried warmth and weight at the same time, unusual for someone known to command attention with movement and grin alone. Ali tilted his head, intrigued. Okay, then tell me, what would you do if someone tried to take it all from you in one night? Not a fight in the ring, just pressure, attention, people expecting perfection. How would you handle it? The question hung. Crew members in the hallway stopped moving. The faint buzz of the Las Vegas lights above seemed to fade. Even the distant sounds of slot machines outside felt muted, as if the room itself was holding its breath. Elvis leaned closer, his expression calm, almost tender. I'd remind them who I am, he said. Not by yelling, not by acting tough, but by being true. By knowing myself when the world wants me to forget. Ali raised an eyebrow, half-smile returning. Not bad. Not bad at all. The hallway was suddenly quieter. You could hear a faint scrape of shoes against marble, a soft breath, the subtle shifting of security guards. Everyone sensed the moment. These were two titans exchanging more than words. They were exchanging insight, respect, and a glimpse behind the legend. Then Ali smirked. All right, but tell me something real. Tell me the part no one else hears. The part that matters when the cameras aren't watching. Elvis paused. His eyes narrowed slightly, studying Ali. The weight of the question was clear. He could deflect, joke, or give a simple answer. But he didn't. He leaned in closer, lowering his voice almost to a whisper. Everyone in the hallway felt it. This wasn't about performance. This wasn't about fame. This was private, human, raw. And whatever Elvis was about to say, Ali would carry it forever. Elvis lowered himself into the small love seat opposite Ali. The room seemed smaller suddenly, walls pressing in with anticipation. Even the hum of the overhead lights felt louder. The few crew members lingering at the edges sensed that nothing else in the world mattered for these next moments. He leaned in, voice soft but firm. Ali, there's something you've got to understand, he said. All the fame, all the cheering, it can't define you. It can't tell you who you are. Ali listened, silent, head slightly tilted. The boxer's world was one of rules, punches, stamina, but Elvis's advice came from a different kind of fight. One with no ropes, no timer, just the constant pressure of expectation. I've stood on stages, Elvis continued. Thousands of people watching, each one thinking they know me better than I know myself. And you'll face the same in the ring. Everyone expects perfection every time, but perfection doesn't exist. You can't please everyone. What matters is your heart, your focus, your truth. Ali's eyes narrowed slightly, absorbing each word. He could sense the honesty, the lived experience in Elvis's tone. This wasn't a performance. This wasn't showmanship. This was a confession, a sharing of wisdom. The kind that comes only from someone who's been exposed to adoration, criticism, and solitude all at once. Elvis continued, leaning back just slightly, letting the words sink in. You'll have nights when the world doubts you, nights when your body is tired, your mind is heavy, and the cameras are waiting. Don't let that break you. Don't let the crowd's roar or whispers dictate how you see yourself. The hallway felt suspended in time. Even the faint creak of floorboards and distant slot machines felt distant, muted. Ali's jaw flexed. His fists rested on his knees, unspoken understanding forming between the two legends. Charlie Hodge scribbled in his notebook but glanced up, sensing this moment's gravity. Even the security guard, leaning by the door, straightened instinctively. This was history, quiet, intimate, private. Remember, Elvis said, voice dropping to almost a whisper, it's not about what they see, it's about what you know in your heart. If you fight for yourself, if you respect yourself, the rest falls into place. Ali nodded slowly. His grin softened into a rare, reflective smile. Man, you got a way of speaking, Elvis, he said. Makes a guy think. Elvis chuckled softly. That's the idea. Keep your head. Know your heart. And never let the world tell you who you are. The tension lifted slightly, replaced with a quiet respect. Two men, icons in their own worlds, had shared something no one else would witness. It wasn't just advice. It was trust, mentorship, and human connection. Ali leaned back, eyes distant, thinking, absorbing. "I'll remember that," he said softly, almost to himself. Elvis's smile was slight, private. "I know you will." The room held a final, silent beat. Everything else, the lights, the distant crowd, the hallway chatter, melted away. For a brief, rare instant, the two legends existed only in that space, sharing a moment that would ripple through decades. And Ali knew, even then, that what Elvis whispered would guide him in ways no one could see. Elvis leaned closer, eyes locking with Ali's. The hallway seemed to shrink, every sound outside fading into background noise. This wasn't showmanship. This wasn't performance. This was human, real, raw. "You've got a power they'll never give you," Elvis said quietly. "Not the belt, not the fame, not the cameras. Your power comes from your heart. From knowing yourself when everyone else is shouting at you to be someone else." Ali blinked, a small, rare smile forming. The calm authority in Elvis's voice carried more weight than any trainer, any promoter, any fight he had faced. Words so simple yet packed with lifetime lessons. "You'll hear doubt," Elvis continued. "You'll feel tired, even broken, but you can't let them touch your core. Standhalt. Keep your truth. Respect yourself first, then respect comes to you." Ali nodded, quiet, absorbing every nuance. His fists relaxed on his knees. He'd faced bigger punches in the ring, faster opponents, louder crowds. But this sentence hit differently. This sentence wasn't about strength. It was about control, resilience, clarity. Elvis smiled faintly. "And never forget, what you give, you get back. Kindness, confidence, respect, they're contagious. Use them wisely." Ali's chest rose with a slow, steady breath. The grin broadened. Not arrogance, not amusement, understanding, appreciation, enlightenment. "You really think I can live by that?" Ali asked softly. Elvis nodded. "I know you can. I see it in you." A faint click of a camera echoed. Charlie Hodge glanced up, then looked away, sensing he had witnessed something private, sacred. Ali leaned back slightly, the tension lifting. The lessons weren't finished. They would ripple in his mind, in the ring, in every personal struggle. The words, whispered softly, were seeds. Seeds that would grow, unseen, into resilience that the world would only glimpse in his actions. Elvis's presence remained calm. No gestures to show off. No flamboyance. Just the quiet certainty of a man passing knowledge. Ali exhaled slowly. "I'll carry that with me," he said, voice firm. "I know you will," Elvis replied. The brief silence that followed held the weight of decades. The corridor hummed with life, but neither man was truly aware. Both were absorbed in a shared understanding, a transfer of wisdom between two icons whose worlds rarely intersected so quietly. It was a moment that would shape history. Not the fights, not the records, not the shows, but the quiet counsel, the private words that Ali never forgot. Short burst, words that mattered, a glance that sealed it. And in that moment, Muhammad Ali understood something the world would never fully witness. Elvis Presley had given him a gift far beyond applause. Days and weeks passed, but Ali couldn't shake the words Elvis had whispered. In interviews, casual conversations, and later in memoirs, he recalled the moment repeatedly. Not just what was said, but how it was said, calm, deliberate, imbued with empathy. A simple phrase, yet it carried weight far heavier than any belt, ring, or roar of a crowd. Elvis had shared a perspective few ever received. Fame, pressure, and expectation were universal challenges, regardless of the stage. Ali realized that the lessons applied not only to boxing, but to life, to every choice, to how he treated friends, opponents, and himself. It was a compass quietly guiding decisions and attitudes. Friends who were with Ali afterward noticed a shift. He carried himself with a subtle change in posture. Shoulders more relaxed, eyes softer, voice measured yet commanding. He spoke about humility more frequently, about the importance of knowing oneself and of remaining grounded amid accolades. People close to him sensed that Elvis's advice had forged a calm resolve that extended beyond rings and interviews. Collectors and biographers later pieced together fragments of the encounter. Photos of the Hilton hallway, handwritten notes on backstage pads, Elvis's signed setlist. Ali referenced it in conversations, carefully, almost reverently. The world didn't know the exact words, but the impact was tangible. Ali's demeanor, strategy, and personal philosophy all bore traces of that moment. Even decades later, reporters asked Ali what conversation had left a lasting impression on him. Without hesitation, he spoke of the backstage meeting, of Elvis's quiet counsel, of the lesson in staying true to oneself under unrelenting pressure. It became a story intertwined with both legends, demonstrating how one human, speaking sincerely, can shape the life of another. The transformation was subtle yet profound. Ali's confidence grew rooted not in bravado, but in clarity and self-awareness. His interactions carried empathy and reflection. Every time he faced the world, the whisper of Elvis's counsel echoed, reminding him to respect himself, respect others, and trust the wisdom gained through experience. Fans who followed both icons noticed these qualities, interpreting them as natural traits of greatness. Few realized the private, human exchange backstage had influenced not just decisions, but character, resilience, and perspective. And so the ripple began, quiet, invisible, yet enduring. Decades later, historians and fans still talk about the night Elvis whispered to Muhammad Ali. Bootleg interviews, backstage photos, and collector notes captured fragments of that moment. The signed setlist, a hotel photograph, and a small note preserved by Elvis's staff became artifacts cherished by fans and biographers alike. These items silently testify to the private wisdom exchanged between two legends. Ali carried those words throughout his career, letting them influence his behavior in the ring and in public life. Friends recounted how he would quietly reference the advice before difficult matches or public appearances. He credited Elvis with providing perspective, the reminder to stand tall under scrutiny, to trust himself, and to stay grounded no matter how loud the world became. The meeting became symbolic, a private moment that rippled outward. Memoirs, documentaries, and interviews later highlighted the interaction, emphasizing its impact on Ali's personal growth. Even without revealing the exact sentence, those who studied Ali's life noted the calm, assured, and empathetic energy that defined him after that encounter. Fans still debate what Elvis might have said, the nuances and phrasing, yet all agree on its power. The story embodies the intersection of two iconic lives, showing that influence does not always come through spectacle or fame. It comes through understanding, insight, and human connection. A fan newsletter from 1980 quietly referenced Ali's admiration for Elvis, marking the lasting impression the backstage encounter left. Elvis's quiet guidance shaped more than one career. It left a lesson. The strongest influence often happens offstage, in private moments, in words spoken with care. That night, in a small Las Vegas hallway, two legends shared more than fame. They shared wisdom, respect, and the kind of insight that echoes for generations. And the deepest impact, Ali would later say, remained entirely private, carried in memory, applied in life, and felt in every measured decision he made thereafter. The story closes on reflection. Even the greatest individuals need guidance, humility, and insight. Elvis's private counsel to Muhammad Ali shows that wisdom can come from unexpected places, from someone who understands the pressure of public scrutiny, fame, and expectation. It wasn't about spectacle or ego. It was about connection, empathy, and perspective. Ali carried the lesson for decades, demonstrating how words spoken in trust can shape a life quietly but profoundly. Fans, biographers, and historians recognize that the backstage exchange illustrates a timeless truth. Mentorship, compassion, and authenticity can ripple far beyond the room in which they occur. The moral resonates. Greatness isn't only measured by trophies, titles, or applause. True greatness is measured by the care you take in lifting others, by the guidance you offer in moments when no one is watching. Elvis, through a simple private conversation, left a legacy that transcends music and sports. It reminds us that quiet influence often leaves the most enduring mark. And that is why Ali never forgot what Elvis whispered that day. A moment small in duration but monumental in impact, revealing the human behind the legend, and the power of words shared in trust. If this private exchange between two legends moved you, share it with someone who appreciates the human side of greatness. Have you ever witnessed a moment where words changed a life quietly, yet profoundly? Comment below with your story, and don't miss our next cinematic tale, revealing the unseen lessons behind the world's most iconic figures.